Assalamualaikum and hi! Welcome to Forensic Fiesta Online Expo. So today, I'm going to tell you about CSI. So, what is CSI? CSI is the short form for Crime Scene Investigation. It is the use of physical evidence at the crime scene and the use of deductive and inductive reasoning to gain knowledge of the events surrounding the crime. Crime scene investigation involves processing and collection of physical evidence such as fingerprints, footwear impressions, hair, fibers, material for DNA analysis. But for today, we are going to focus only on fingerprints. Before we explore more about fingerprints, I want to show you a famous case that includes fingerprinting. Do you know this man? He is Thomas Jennings, an African-American man who became the first criminal trial that used fingerprints as evidence in the United States. On September 19, 1910, at 2 o'clock in the morning, Thomas Jennings, in an attempt of robbery, he shot a guy whose name was Clarence Hiller with a revolver at Hiller House. In order to flee himself from that murder scene, he accidentally used a freshly painted railing to hoist himself through a window. But unwittingly, he left behind his own fingerprint on that red railing. He was stopped a half mile away from murder scene wearing a torn and bloodied coat and carrying a revolver. Police photographed and cut off the railing itself, claiming it would prove the identity of the burglar. In the eyes of the court, they were right. Hiller's murder have led to the first conviction using fingerprints evidence in a criminal trial in United States.
Hi guys, welcome to Forensic Expo. My name is Satish. I am a second year student and I am from Forensic Science. So now I'm going to teach you how to detect or how to find out invisible fingerprints which we can't see by our naked eyes. We're going to use dusting technique to find out the fingerprints. Normally, forensic officers will use black powder, white powder, magnetic powder, but instead of that, we're going to use carbon powder which is from pencils. First of all, we need to prepare all the materials which we need to proceed. Materials are glass or any smooth metal surface, scissor, tissue or any old clothes, A4 paper, clear tape, grinded carbon powder, and also a brush with soft bristles. Step 1. What you guys need to do is wipe your glass with tissue or old clothes to make sure it is clear and also clean. Next step, choose one finger from one of your hand. It doesn't matter which finger you can choose, but I suggest you to choose thumb because it have larger surface area compared to other fingers so that it can give clear fingerprint pattern. Once you choose it, press gently on the smooth glass. While you are pressing, do not move your finger. Another important thing, if your hand is so dry, it won't give a clear fingerprint pattern. So, if your hand is so dry, don't worry. I have a solution. Rub your finger on the nose to obtain sebaceous secretion. So, the oil will transfer onto the glass and give a clear fingerprint pattern. That's all. Dip your brush into the carbon powder and tips of your brush should be covered with carbon powders, and then tap your brush to remove any excess carbon powder. Next, sweep your brush carefully where you put your fingerprint, and note that do not apply too much of pressure because it can wipe your fingerprint away. Use a piece of clear tape and carefully press the tape down onto the surface on the top of the fingerprint. Make sure there is no hair trap in between the tape and the glass. So what you need to do is press the hair bubbles out gently when placing the tape onto the glass. Then peel the tape off slowly and transfer the fingerprint onto the piece of paper. That's all. There is your visible fingerprint pattern. From the fingerprint testing, and my fingerprint shows the loop pattern. And do you guys know what is the loop means? It is the one of the pattern in the fingerprint. There is the 3 patterns, and you guys also will find out which one is yours in a while. And I hope this video will be very useful to you all, and hope you guys will find the clear fingerprint pattern of yours. If you guys also get the loop pattern, you guys all my category. And thank you to watch this video, and goodbye, see you again.
Hi everyone, since all of you have your fingerprints ready, I am now going to help you all identify your fingerprints by explaining the types of fingerprint patterns. According to the Henry system, there are 3 major fingerprint patterns, which are arches, loops, and holes. Let us start with arches. How can we identify an arch? An arch has ridges that enter from one side of the finger and flow out the other side with a slight rise in the center. Arches are further divided into 2 sub-patterns, which are the plain arch and a tented arch. The major difference between these 2 patterns is that the tented arch has a delta, while the plain arch doesn't. What is a delta, you may ask? A delta is where the flow of ridges resembles a triangle and the ridges won't intersect with each other. The next pattern I'm going to explain about is the loop. You can identify a loop when you see one or more ridges that enter from one side of the finger, forms a curve, and exits from the same side it entered. Loops are also further divided into 2 sub-patterns, which are the ulna and the radial loop. Both loops have one delta and a core. The difference between the ulna and radial loops is that the ulna's curve starts from the little finger side, while the radial's curve starts from the thumb side. The last pattern is a hole. For this pattern, The ridges enter from both sides of the finger and flow in a circular way. Unlike arches and loops, holes are divided into 4 subpatterns. The first is the central pocket loop. A central pocket loop consists of one returning ridge and one delta. The second is a double loop. A double loop consists of 2 separate loop formations in the middle and also have 2 deltas. The third is a plain hole. A plain hole has a circular spiral pattern in the middle, again with 2 deltas. Last but not least is the accidental hole. An accidental hole is stated to have a combination of different types of patterns with 2 or more deltas present in the pattern. Everyone will wonder why fingerprints are that important. Since each fingerprint pattern is unique to a specific person, it can therefore be a reliable way to identify suspects in cases like theft, homicide, and murder. It also provides biometric security, for example, to control access against secure areas and systems such as bank accounts. Lastly, it is also useful to conduct background checks, which are usually done by the government for several applications. That is all from me. Thank you.